right. Peace and love, everybody. It is your Brozo here, and another day in this wonderful days of transition. Just looking out in the world, and sometimes things gotta get kind of rough before they get better. So and so yeah. So hang on. Stay attentive, and just keep on being the best person you can be. So, that's my jewel for today. Um, if you haven't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. You can go to yourbrozo.com, and as you know, May 2nd, I have an event coming up. It's for Healing from the Inside Out. It's at the Timbuktu Cultural Center off MLK in Atlanta, Georgia. And I will be doing a book release for my most recent book. And like I've been telling people, I didn't mean to do this, but I guess it kind of happened. This is my first book, if you haven't seen it already, Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. I'm sure we can all relate to that, okay, especially in this day and time. And then this next one is Embracing the Sun Cycle as a Non-Ether Being. Just kind of talk about, like I was talking about before, about the day and times we're in, and just finding knowledge of self in this crazy world when they try to make it difficult to find out who and where you came from. And of course, healing. Talk about how recognizing, trauma in my life and different things, and finding and realizing there's resources that help you assist you through life, be it therapy, be it any other things, but that's what that book's about. And that's really it. That's all I got. This wonderful, again, young lady is here in front of me, and she's going to be a guest and a guest there at the event, a speaker, and a potential vending. Are you vending too, right? Are you vending?
I believe so.
You are? Okay. Yeah, okay. Speaker and vending, so you'll be able to talk to her about her services there. But that's enough for me. Miss Laura, please introduce yourself and let the people know what's going down.
Hello, my name is Laura Wilford, and I am so excited to be a part of this event on May 2nd. There's just so many great people that are coming, and some that I have met, some that I have not met, but I'm looking forward to just being a part of it. Where do I fit in? That is such a good question, right? I've always been intuitive. I started as a child, and it was just kind of weird because I'd be the 4-year-old in the room where adults would come to talk to and get advice from. Didn't seem strange to me then. Now looking back, it seems a little odd, but just always been the one to really give solid yet spiritual advice. I am a spiritual counselor. I do intuitive counseling as well as life coaching. I am certified in both. I am also a hypnotherapist. So hypnotherapy is an amazing tool to use to heal yourself in this lifetime and even past lifetimes. We do past life regressions. We try to pull that information that your spirit has already learned in the past forward, so you can readily use it today, so you don't have to relearn so many things again in this lifetime. I think it's important for people to remember that it's not about learning, it's about remembering who you are and why you're here, to spiritually advance and to expand and to return as a greater soul. So I really just help people on their journey through life.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's one thing that I'm like, I didn't. It was strange because I didn't realize until I'm doing these interviews about the event. It's like these guests are like, they're all certified. They're all real. They're like, they're not what I keep saying. They're like shade tree mechanics. They're no, what I'm saying. They have experience. They have degrees. You know what I mean? And when I sit back and look at, like she was saying earlier, when I sit back and look at the flyer, like, man, these people are amazing. I'm like, I said, I must be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep it up. I'm going the right direction. I'm surrounding myself with, amazing individuals. So, you know what I'm saying? Because I know y'all want, if I was a bum, y'all want me to hang with me. So that's a compliment on my end. I don't do that often, but I guess I compliment myself. So yeah, that's, and when I'm like, if you haven't seen previous interviews I've had with Laura, because we had a couple. You know, she when I first saw her, I literally just I knew something. You know how you just see people, you see the aura, and you just see you knew something's up. I saw her. I was like, "Who is that?" My friend Jordan is like, "Well, that's my mom." I was like, oh, "Okay, well, And then we started talking. I was like, "Okay, there's even more to what I saw." But then, the more we talked, the more it all made sense. And then she started telling me what she did in her own right, and even in our conversations, I've had assistance and help, and not only myself, but my family members that she was able to see and tap into. So very powerful individual, ethical, knowledgeable, all the good stuff that you want in a counselor. So I was just so honored, that she actually would come on board, So, and again, thank you very much for being here morning. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
yeah. I appreciate you
I'm
so
raring
much.
and
You
ready to
don't even
go.
know. Yeah, I know, right? And once you like a lawnmower, once you pull it, it's running, then
Right.
you're ready to
Wake up.
go.
I got things to do. Lives to
Yeah, I know
change.
that's right. I know that's right. I know, so true, so true. I'm rolling as soon as we get this. I'm rolling all day. So okay. So I guess one thing I want to talk about, like when the individuals come out to you, and
Mhm.
they say, "Hey, Miss Laura, I saw you in the podcast, whatever the case be, but what is it exactly you do? What would you explain to these people as far as like, I know you just kind of talked about what you do, but like, what is your normal interaction with a new client?"
It really depends. We kind of just
Mm-hmm.
sit down and have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What are the goals that they want to attain? Why do they
Mm-hmm.
really want to see me? I also do readings. So some
Mm-hmm.
people would like to have a reading. Some people really want to get back on their right path for
Mm-hmm.
jobs or relationships. I do a lot of
Mm-hmm.
relationship counseling.
Okay.
They might want to just know that they have a purpose here. They may just want to try to understand themselves better. There are so many
Mm-hmm.
things, and that's kind of a difficult question because everybody is so unique and so
Unique,
different.
yeah.
They come
Mm-hmm.
from you to you from every direction.
Mm-hmm.
We just started 6 weeks ago called The Change Starts Here. It's a podcast, but it's a whole
Mm-hmm.
Facebook site where we do a podcast once a week, and really that podcast is for the people. Now that's
Yeah.
still growing, but we really encourage outsiders, and I mean outsiders outside that core group of people, to come
Mm-hmm.
in to experience what it's like to have a conversation with people who are all spiritually awake. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
the real big push and the real big drive right now is
Mm-hmm.
understanding why do I keep waking up at the same time? Why do I
Yeah.
keep seeing numbers? Why do I suddenly want to be part of nature or not kill nature? Why? There's like we have 17 signs that you're rising to new earth, that you're elevating, that you're expanding. So I just think the push right now for that whole spiritual awakening is here. And I'm the one
Mm-hmm.
that's here to help facilitate that,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
individual at a time.
Mm-hmm. So okay, and I'm happy you said that because that's kind of opening the door. So a lot of people, like you said, they might be like, "Oh, I see 333 in the morning. I'm waking up at 333 in the morning. I'm seeing 1111." When it comes to astrologically and the days and times of the week, could you kind of break down why this spiritual awakening is happening? Why these people are feeling like this?
Well, it depends on what you believe, but what I believe
Mm-hmm.
is that
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a rising earth, a new earth. And in order
Mm-hmm.
to move with that change, you literally are changing energetically, vibrationally, spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people talk about revelations, right? And everybody keeps saying,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the earth is going to end, And for
Mm-hmm.
them, that may be true because I also
Mm-hmm.
believe you get what you believe, right? So, in my world, it's not about revelation,
Mm-hmm.
it's about vibrational change and dissection between two vibrations, lower vibration staying on
Mm-hmm.
one earth and then the
Mm-hmm.
new vibration moving to another earth.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're recognizing numbers, I mean, I am not an astrologist. I'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm not well versed in that section of
Mm-hmm.
spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
But what I believe is that when your angels, spirit guides, the universe recognizes that you're recognizing that you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing the same numbers, that's the one way that they communicate with you.
Mm.
So when I'm seeing 444, I know that that is a literal communication from my other side to hear with me.
Mm-hmm.
When I see a number, it doesn't even have to be, and a lot of people get stuck in that 222, 333. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
yeah, yeah.
be a succession of the same number.
Mm-hmm.
It can
Mm-hmm.
actually be multiple numbers. But if you see 157, for example, and for some reason that specific number catches your attention,
Mm-hmm.
stop and look it up. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to
Mm.
communicate with you.
Yeah.
It's not just 222. It could be 932. I mean, it could be anything. But
Anything.
if it elicits emotion within you, if it catches you right in the throat, it's like, what the
Mm-hmm.
heck? Once
Yeah.
they realize that you recognize numbers, they're going to communicate with you like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um. Okay. Let's say, and for example, if somebody is trying to really understand this new feeling they're having of, like we say, the spiritual awakening, what is the type of advice that you would give, like an individual? Just on as far as just general. You don't have to get into much deep. Just general advice is like maybe you need to rest more. You need to eat better. What kind of advice would you give somebody as far as once they're starting to wake up to kind of embrace what they're getting into?
The number one advice that I would give is don't think it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Don't blow it off.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it. Run with it. Um, Look things up. Research. I find so many people, they may feel something and then they just think they're the only one in the world that feels that way. Or that, there's been a report to me. A lot of people come to me that they're having anxiety for absolutely no reason. And in fact,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan came to me with that himself.
Yeah.
That anxiety is just feeling the change of the earth. And
Yeah.
you may not have any other issues. Your finances may be perfect. Your marriage may be perfect, or your
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Your
Mm-hmm.
job may be amazing, but you still have that deep seated anxiety.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just your
Yeah.
soul, your spirit starting to go through that change. Now,
Mm-hmm.
once you recognize it for what it is, then it
Mm-hmm.
takes that edge off of it.
Yeah.
So, my advice to people as well is talk to other people about what you're feeling, because you'll be shocked to find out a lot of people are feeling exactly what you're feeling. They just don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. They just
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
seem weird or strange or just outside the
Exactly.
box.
Yeah. And that's a good point because I know that when I started this whole it started just I think technically we've been talking about this for a while. For what we're doing now is just
Hmm.
manifesting. I guess actually technically it's kind of been building up with the things we've been doing in the past. But you know, I see in a lot of people how it might be so difficult to ask for help. You know, just because of programming, just because of like you said, just being scared to just being like embarrassed, whatever the case may be. Because you know, I guess there's some like a stigma as far as like needing help, like mental health or whatever the case may be. Like, oh man,
Right.
you're crazy, whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna tell you something. I've seen so many of my friends and family members that need so much help, and they're sitting there walking around in hell, their own personal hell, and
Right.
they could just simply get help and if they knew the resources and asked for help, then that could
Yeah.
at least alleviate some of the problem. So you know that's a huge thing that I'm saying, and that's why I'm like, yo, if I could do it, you know what I'm saying. If I shut the door and came out, you can do it. You can get help. You
Yeah.
can and I don't think that it's that difficult, especially speaking. I just know, just speaking to you, and I know you have numerous clients, how easy, a lot how easy it is really to start this process. It's a lot easier than you think to just sit down and speak to somebody like Miss Laura. You know, she ain't going. It's not like going to the dentist. I promise you that. You know what I mean? Unless Laura, you got some tools over there that you didn't tell me about, but
Well, we don't
you
extract
know,
teeth, but we extract truth. So
yes. Yeah, but not saying it's easy. The process is easy, but as far as it being, you've had way more trauma than you have trauma releasing was going to be better than trauma having. I guess that's the way.
right.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I can personally go through that as well because the more I release and the more learn and release my different my different things and it's like it's like working out. Like you work out, you get in the gym, man, I gotta do, then afterwards you're like, oh, I did it, okay, yeah, I feel okay, I feel like I accomplished something, because it is a spiritual workout, right? Mental, spiritual, physical, yeah, all the above, yeah. So I just think it's so important that it's okay to ask for help. You know what I mean? I'm even talking to people that have drug addictions, anything.
Yeah.
Anything. You would be surprised how speaking to somebody, especially that is spiritually inclined, has experience like Miss Laura, how much they can change your life. You know what I mean? And yeah. So
you that
you were talking about your meetups.
Sorry. I was
No,
just
go ahead.
saying, when people can come in and feel that they're in a non-judgmental environment and what they say is truly accepted and not going to be talked about beyond those walls, I think that in itself is freeing because if you just imagine draining all of the bad stuff out of one ear, right? It just makes more space for the white light to come in on the other side. And one other thing, I'm just going to drop a piece of this, is I always say to my clients that how would you feel if whatever the issue was did not exist? Sit in that moment. How would you feel if you had no challenges? If they can really sit down and imagine that, they get that look in their eye. I said, now hold on to that feeling and take it forward. Because what you're doing is you're holding on to that vibration of fear, of lack, of this, of that, and stuff. If that never happened to you, or if you're not experiencing that and all the things you wanted, you're experiencing right now, how would you feel? And I think, it's not only the directing people how to let go of things, but you're also really directing them as to how to change their vibration, how to let go of that trauma, of the pain, of the memories, because when you hold that close to your heart, instead of holding something positive or light or whatever you can grasp onto at that moment, because in fact, we're about to do a series about grief on 11/11. I'm doing a series of grief about mothers losing children, about, just loss, whatever that grief is, and how they got through that and how they got to the other side. And it's just so interesting to see how people process differently. But one thing I know that more than one person has told me is they go to the ocean. They say the ocean healed them.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah, that's true. I know in the Ifa religion, the water in the ocean and rivers is a really big thing for exactly what you said. Yeah, and specifically releasing, healing and releasing. So I definitely understand that. So, it's interesting that because let me ask you this: are you still going to start the meetups eventually with the spiritual meetups? Remember we talked about before? Is that something you're going to do in the future?
Yes. That's definitely still in the works. I want to get to a place where I can do it consistently. Doing the weekly podcast, I literally have to, it's just an hour a week, hour and a half by the time you're done, right?
Yeah.
But you have to create that sacred bubble because once you start it, people rely on you because they're getting something out of it. So they rely on you to
Mm-hmm.
be there. And
Exactly.
so I'm definitely going to do the spiritual meetup 1000%. I just want to make sure that I have the time to
Mm.
carve out that hour and a half, 2 hours where I can
Yeah.
be there consistently every week.
Consistently. Yeah. 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 Because see, and that's also that's very it's very what she said earlier at the podcast, just talking about the spiritual awakening. Because now everybody is not has a lot of trauma in their life or have issues. A lot of people might have worked with whatever the case may be, but they still might be in a position of like, what the hell is going on? So
Yep.
even healing is good. Healing is good for the people that need healing, but at the same time, just direction and good knowledge on good information and good knowledge and good advice on what's happening right now, that's just as important. You know what I mean? So, and especially in this
1000%.
day and time, because yeah, especially this day and time, because if it wasn't for me personally, just my growing up the way I did with my metaphysical, teachings and the different, master teachers I learned from, I don't know where the hell I'd be right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Seriously, like mentally, all this stuff that's going on. Like, are you kidding? But now when you see something, oh, you're like, oh, that was so and so book I read today, or that was so and so's lecture. Oh, it's making sense now. So a lot of us, including Miss Laura here, she sitting back and like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. You know what I mean? like okay, it's yeah, and it's not even for me. It's not. It's surprising because I didn't know I'd be alive to see some of the stuff that's happening, but now it's making sense of why I was seated here, while we were all seated here for this specific time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. It's not like she said earlier about a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that me and her are talking here, that we met. Not a
Right.
coincidence that all these different things. It's all us lined up to really assist and help the people. So
And it's
that's
not
that. Whenever you start to, hmm, go
I said
ahead.
it's all about finding your tribe. It's more
Yeah,
important now
exactly,
than ever to
exactly,
find your
exactly.
tribe.
Exactly right. And it's so and that's the reason why I use the word tribe too, like specifically because like, you know, this is the reason why he stay together. Why, psychics stay, you know what I mean? The reason why like minded people vibrate at the same level. So it's definitely tribes of individuals, that are assisting and helping. So please keep me posted on those meetups because I would definitely like to hear about it and anything I could do to help you with that. You know what I'm saying? You already know I'm down. I'm down for the cause. So, but yeah, so that's good. That's good to know. So let's talk about your process. Let's say somebody watch this video and they say, what is this the streamlined process that they go to your Facebook page, or how do they get in contact with you, the best way to start this whole process?
Um, I have several ways. Facebook is definitely one of them. I have two Facebook pages that deal with spirituality as a really quick way to get a hold of me. One is called The
Mm-hmm.
Change Starts Here, and the other one
Mm-hmm.
is 1111 Spiritual Colonies and Retreats, which is a totally different. You know what my 1111 is, right? So can
Yeah.
you
Uh-huh.
see how that whole thing that I've been talking about for years is becoming more and more and more important and viable?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So under one of those ways, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
on
Definitely.
TikTok under From Noise to Knowing. I've kind
Mm-hmm.
of moved all of my the change starts here stuff there. But from noise to knowing is there's so much noise out there. But
Mm-hmm.
once you know what's going on, once you understand why people are doing the things they do, why the universe is doing it all makes sense. And now it becomes
Yeah.
the knowing. You just become more intelligent and more aware. So that
Mm-hmm.
once you're aware of things, it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
seem so scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
I agree.
any way that you need to get a hold of me, and contact your brozo, and just I'm here for you. And I feel like if
Mhm.
we're meant to be together, you're going to be watching this. You're going to really look for me. I have to be one of the easiest people to find on the internet. Um,
Yeah.
Hashtag Laura Wilford, hashtag Laura Lockhart. You're going to find me either way and just reach out to me. I do respond to everyone that sends me a direct message.
Yeah. That's good to know. Yeah, because the way we're doing, and like even on, and when you get a chance, shoot me all those links because I'm gonna put it in the description here so people it make it even easier, so they can contact you. But yeah, it's a it's the day and time not only for us to heal, to find a healing tribe, but also to find a spiritual tribe. And I'm very excited. So what you even when you told me about it initially, I was very excited because it's a great idea. Like just to be able to sit down with people and be like, yeah, yeah, and like-minded individuals, because it's a little bit like people do it all the time at church, but church has a ceiling on it. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can, you could, yeah, you have to stay inside of the dogma, no matter what religion it
Right.
is. As opposed to uh, breaking the dogmatic talk and just dealing with everything that might be taboo in religion. That is really a lot of the real conversations or expansion of a dogmatic conversation. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I noticed that. But it's funny because my folks back home, they Jesus is a thing and it's cool and it works for them. I don't judge nobody, and I've come
Right.
in my age instead of doing that judgment. It's like I learned to start translating. You know what I mean? Translating things from other things they can learn, and thank God for ChatGPT because if you say something the internet's good, but thank God for ChatGPT because you could be like, I'm now able to translate what I'm saying into a Bible verse or an archaeological find or whatever the case may be. Pure science instead of just speculation. You know what I mean? So it's actually technology is making it easier to reach my good
That's so
Christian or Muslim
cool.
or whatever folks that are yeah, yep. And it's important. You know what I'm saying? Because you know yeah, 'cause it's just that try being able to speak in their language and get your point across is very important.
It bridges the gap. And I used
Yeah.
it just last week or the week before. I vaguely said
Hmm.
something. Oh, I know what I said was when I come to people and they're like, "So you're spiritual?" I'm like, "Yes." So does that mean you don't believe in God and you don't believe in Jesus? And I said, "No, absolutely not." I said,
Exactly.
you know, I I am one with God. I'm very careful with how I word things. And the one
Yes.
thing I
Exactly.
said on the podcast, which got some
Hmm.
pushback, was that I said I do
Hmm.
believe in Jesus. I just may not believe him do. And
Yeah.
that just, oh, I
Exactly.
feel so sorry for her. She's, basically somebody said I'm gonna go to hell. All of this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
take
I'm
any of
already
that
there, toots.
personally. Right. I don't take it
Yeah. Yeah.
personally, but I
Yeah.
did go to Chat GPT with, just copy and paste the comments and how can
Hmm.
I approach them in a way that they would understand? And they just wrote this
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah. I know, right?
Over my bridge and I'll walk over your type of attitude. And once I posted that, it all stopped. No one said
Yeah. Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else because I'm not here to judge
Yeah.
you.
That's good.
And if you need church, everybody needs something. As long as it brings you to
Something.
some
Yep.
sort of
So true.
awakening, something that makes you a
Exactly.
positive
Exactly.
force in this world, I don't care if you come through it believing this, that, or the other thing, as long as you come to it.
Hmm.
Because really,
Yeah.
really,
Exactly.
the journey has many, many paths. And who am I to
Hmm.
judge which one you take? As long as we
Hmm.
all end up in the same positive place.
Exactly, exactly right. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because me being older now, I have a real different perspective on all of the religions I've been introduced to, and my perspective now is way way better than it might have been 10 years from now, as looking at it like, dogmatic and, oppressive, whatever case may be, depending on whatever religion you're looking at. And like you were talking about Jesus and stuff, it's like, man, I mean, the more I learn about, Jesus and even go back in time, it's like, I'm just looking at him like the ultimate role model. Like seriously,
Right.
like the ultimate role model, or what they call it, ultimate mentor. Because and I'm looking at it from from different angles. Like if he was able to turn water into wine, like let me find out. Let me find out how to do that. If he was able to walk on, seriously, like if he was able to
Right.
walk on water, that's levitation. So you're talking about what people. We talk about what people might. If you say that you want to do that, they, oh, that's witchcraft. That's the devil. But that's things that he said he can do better than him. So why would I want to learn alchemy? Why would I want to learn levitation? Why would I, use the mud to help people blind? Why in the world would I be, when he said himself, the things I could do, you could do much better. So
That's
and that
right.
goes through across the board. Yeah, across the board in most of the religions that I've studied in the past. I have a better perspective now because I'm older and I have more wisdom, less judgmental and all that stuff.
Right,
So,
right. What are they thinking? Why would they do that? I just, you know what? I really have found though that people are questioning. It's such a time of awakening. And
yeah,
not they're not just questioning religion, they're questioning government, they're questioning anything that just does not resonate with them.
yeah,
And that's
right.
part of the awakening. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to catch them when
Mm-hmm.
they start waking up and asking these questions. I have um, documented, like you're talking about, you have
Mm-hmm.
documented facts that you can give people that
Mm-hmm.
when they read it from one perspective, it seems like this. But once you
Mm-hmm.
start to wake up and you reread it from another perspective, as you were saying, it opens
Mm-hmm.
up a whole new
Yeah.
world, opens
Mm-hmm.
up so many more possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and I have friends that are like, why would you tell people that they can manifest this and that? They have no power. It's God that has all the power. And I'm always telling them, who do you think you are? Are you not the
Yeah.
spark of God
Exactly.
Himself? Does He
Mm-hmm.
not bestow upon you the gifts that He so effortlessly gave to you? Don't you think He thinks it's wonderful and fun to see you use the gifts that He gave you? So
And it.
it's not coming from any other source but source itself, the universal
Exactly.
flow,
Exactly.
whatever you want to call it.
As my good folk in the Christian world, have they say the enemy. Best believe the enemy is the one that does not want you to realize how great you are.
Thank
And
you.
that's a, like you said, it's a documented fact. The propaganda, the misinformation, the rewriting of text. They're the ones that don't want you to. They're the ones that are. They're the, like would be that called antichrist. They're the one going against Christ's message. They're trying to hold you back. And worshiping something in which the message is completely. Exactly opposite. And it's interesting because in the Jordan and I, like I told you, we have a single coming out. And on some of the verses of the chorus and the pre-chorus, I literally said some of the Bible verse that isn't it said many are called, a few are chosen. Talking about like us spiritual people, and then also isn't it was it Psalms 82 verse 6? I think it was that if I'm mistaken. But they said, "Isn't it written in the law that you are gods and you are children of the Most High?" It says it
That's
in Psalms,
right.
plain, plain as day. You know what I'm saying? So, that's like my reminder for the world when we, release it that, you same thing we're talking about now. You're so much more powerful once the enemy doesn't try to suppress you. You fall for his tricks. So
Well, and don't
so.
you think for one second that all of those people that you look up to, that you hold on to their words as pure truth, are not
Hmm.
using those gifts?
Exactly.
Maybe not in a positive way, but they are definitely using them to
Hmm.
manipulate their surroundings and
Hmm.
your life.
Exactly right. Exactly.
They
Yeah,
know.
because they
They
always. Yeah,
know.
exactly. Yeah, they know. Yep, they know, and they usually
They know.
yeah they're using the same tools because the tools are there, but they're like look over here, look over here, look over here, while they're over here doing other things. So it's
That's right.
and that's the world.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, and then when we
Well.
wrap it up, I have a couple of questions to ask you.
Sure. Sure.
Uh,
Sure. Sure.
all
Okay.
right.
All right. All right. I'll start it from here. All right. Well. Well. Ms. Laura, thank you very much. For this time here and all this information. And like I told everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and once I get the information from Miss Laura Wilford here, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the description. Easiest way to contact her. I'm gonna put it all in there. And besides that, anything else you got for the people until we since we're wrapping it up?
I'm looking forward to seeing you. If you are free, and even if you're not free, come out May 2nd. We are so excited to meet you in person. We're so excited to exchange energies with you, to lift you up, to make you feel great and more fulfilled by the time that day is over. Um, we appreciate your time, your effort, your energy. I appreciate you. Thank you for inviting me on your show today.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to
Mm-hmm.
seeing you as well. And just
Mm-hmm.
love and light. That's all I have to say.
That's all right. All right. Well, if you would, before you when you watch this video, please comment. Reach out to me as well. You can go to my website to find everything I showed you. You can reach out to her information. Just comment below on what you thought about. Maybe next time if you want to hear a conversation, specific conversations. If for Miss Laura, or even if we want to come back and do some of that, or maybe one day I'll come on her podcast. If I might become big time enough to.
That's right.
To go on her podcast. Give me another year or two, I think. Give me another year or two, I think I'll be ready for your podcast, Ms. Laura. Okay.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, besides that, just reach out to us and we'll be seeing you May 2nd. We'll have the Eventbrite there, so you can get the tickets. We'll have all the information. So, besides that, we out of here. Of course, go to yobrozo.com so you can check out the books, and that's it for us. Peace and love.
All right. Bye-bye.
Let's see here.